Hello, this is Colonial Puppet, and this is another episode of the Let's Build a Stadium series. When we left off, we built down the short ends of the field with this kind of row of windows. And like I said last episode, the next thing we're going to be doing is doing the same thing, however, on the long side of the stadium, which is going to be a little more daunting than the short ends for obvious reasons. And I'm just going to jump right into it. One thing to add, though, is that if I go into my inventory and I select a wooden axe, I can, say for instance, I do this, and then this. Then I go set, oh man, what is it, 152.8. That was the wrong block. Let's try this again. Second point, first point, set. Then what one is it? It's 251, not 152. Colon 8. I can fill in large expanses with ease now that I have World Edit installed, which should come in handy. Especially for this Let's Build. I won't have to, cut like I have been, and then cut back when I'm done, like exiting Minecraft and then going into MC Edit, which is like a standalone program. A little clunky way of doing things, but now I won't have to do that, which is nice. But anyway, now we have that to our disposal, which is nice. There's one issue, though. The new version of Minecraft, none of the editing programs work with like the new update, the Water Aquatic update that they put out not too long ago. And that not only goes for editing programs like MC Edit, but also rendering programs like Chunky is what I've been using to make my super realistic shaded kind of renderings of the like Titan City and the Cyberpunk City. If you follow my like discussion tab on my YouTube channel, you'll see that I every once in a while will post renderings of projects I'm working on, primarily the Cyberpunk City. Now I can't do that. If I want to make that map up to date, I'm going to keep it on the older version of Minecraft simply because I want to wait to see if the people who make these programs, these third-party programs, will update them to run with the latest version of Minecraft. Which, I mean, I'm pretty sure they will. I think MC Edit has a large following, though I don't know if it's still being actively developed. I know they're developing MC Edit 2, which I'm personally not a big fan of. I'm used to the original MC Edit. I feel like there's some... I feel like the first version of MC Edit is a little more kind of intuitive in its design. There's some things I really don't know how to do on the new version of MC Edit. Important things like nudge, like the nudge tool was ingenious on the original MC Edit, and basically what that is you could plop down a big, like say I wanted to copy a building, I could select the building, copy it, and then if I wanted to paste it somewhere else, but I wanted to paste it in a very specific spot, I could just plop it down in the general area that I want, and then while holding down this little nudge button, I could use my arrow keys to nudge it over one block to wherever I needed it to be. And I don't see that function on the new MC Edit. It might very well have that function, and I'm just stupid and I haven't seen it, but if they do have it, it's not in a very intuitive place. It's hidden somewhere in the UI, which is unfortunate. But alas. Anyway, so here's hoping that they update the original MC Edit as well as the new version. As in, I hope they didn't drop full support of the original version and are instead electing to only focus on the new version. But I mean, that sounds like it's probably the case because, you know, they want to push their new product. Anyway, enough bitching about that. Also, Chunky. I don't know if Chunky's still being actively worked on. There's a relatively active subreddit on reddit.com dedicated to Chunky renders, and I think people on the development team of Chunky like frequently post there. So I'm hoping that it's still like it's not a dead program. I hope it's still being developed. But I remember checking once to see the update log of that program, and it hadn't been updated in like almost a year. Though I haven't looked at it recently, so who knows. So yeah, it'd be a shame if Chunky wouldn't work for any new things built on the new version of Minecraft. So we're moving along pretty well, I have to say. Yeah, it's looking kind of cool. And then once we're done doing this, I'm going to kind of start spacing out the windows so that they're all about that width. So like obviously this is a lot wider than the windows towards the end. We're going to do what we did on the short end of the field and kind of space those out more. All right. So yeah. Anyway, and a lot of people, it's funny, before doing this video I put out a non-gaming related video, and some people seemed unhappy about it. I'm going to put whatever I want on the channel, and believe it or not, Minecraft is getting a little stale. I still enjoy the game, but it's a very time-consuming game, especially the way I play it, building these giant structures and whatnot. As I get older, it becomes a little more impractical to kind of play this game. Not that I want to... That was spooky. Not that I want to not play the game anymore. I enjoy the game still, like I said. It's just I have less and less time to work on these huge projects, and the little free time I do have in my life I want to spend on, you know, other things. There's more to life than playing Minecraft, and I enjoy tinkering and repairing and restoring vintage computer equipment, as some of you may know. So I'm going to be releasing videos like that, computer restorations, things like that. And there will always be a place for Minecraft and video game related content on my channel. But this is by no means going to be a strictly Minecraft related channel. I don't want to pigeonhole my channel in a position where it's solely based around a game that came out in when did the official release of Minecraft come out? Was it 2010? 2009, 2010? It's almost, in a couple of years it's going to be 10 years old, this game. And I mean, it's still a very popular game, but it's certainly, I feel that at some point it peaked and it is no longer the game it once was, which again, that's totally fine. I still enjoy the game regardless of its popularity, but I mean, I want my channel to encompass other things that I enjoy, not just Minecraft. But anyway, that's my rant spiel. Sorry if it was just kind of jumbled and didn't make sense. I just want to let people know that if they're coming here for only Minecraft related content, then you're going to be a little disappointed. But if you enjoy the Minecraft content, that's great. There'll be more of it in the future. Might not be as frequent as you want, but I'm doing my best to get it out as frequently as possible while keeping my sanity and not devoting all of my free time to working on stadiums and cities and all that stuff. That's why I kind of started this horror game series that I've been working on, where I don't talk. It's literally just playthroughs of horror games. I really like horror games, especially kind of dated looking and kind of novelty PS1 era looking horror games like Silent Hill and the OK Not OK one I put out, the playthrough that I put out not too long ago. In fact, the first game I got for my Xbox 360 was Fear 2, which was a horror game. And I remember before getting my Xbox 360 to get all hyped for it, I would watch like top 10 scary video games on YouTube. I remember IGN did like a countdown of their top 10 horror games. A lot of them on the 360, which was one of the main factors in me getting a 360, other than my friends having one and me falling in love with the design of the controller. But yeah, horror games have always been something I enjoyed to play, so I kind of want to tailor my content around that as well, by just kind of releasing a series of playthroughs of horror games. Not all of them good. I was a little underwhelmed by the Concluse game that I did a playthrough of. It definitely had its moments. It was a little kind of not much in terms of substance, I feel, though it had some interesting puzzles and whatnot. Not too scary of a game. It was a little too dark. If you guys watched that and thought it was ridiculously dark, that wasn't my failure to turn up or down or turn up the brightness settings. That's like literally how the game is supposed to look. And yeah, but I'll keep playing. There's another kind of indie horror game I'm looking at, something Eerie Hotel, I think it's called. I'll do a playthrough of that once I'm done the Among the Sleep playthrough. But yeah. So look out for more of that kind of content. Horror playthroughs, video game playthroughs in general, Minecraft Let's Builds. Like I said, once these are done, I'm not going to do any more of these super huge Let's Builds. I'm going to keep my Let's Builds to 1 episode long Let's Builds, which is actually not that hard to do. You can get some pretty big, especially with World Edit. You can get pretty huge skyscraper Let's Builds down in like 1 episode. I could probably build the my very first Let's Build a Skyscraper series. I could probably relegate that to 1 episode now if I were to redo it. But that was on the 360. I was kind of new to the whole Let's Build thing. Then, man, this thing is glitching out. I didn't really know what I was doing, to be completely honest. And that was a 16 episode series. This is going to be at least 30 episodes long. And it's been going on for a year. But yeah. No more of these. These seem pretty impractical, these huge Let's Builds where... and I know it's frustrating for you guys too, waiting for weeks for another episode. sometimes months. And like, I don't mean to do that. It's just, you know, life does what it does, and days become weeks, weeks become months, and you kind of forget, or you kind of get wrapped up in other projects and whatnot. And the next thing you know, it's like, oh, I haven't updated this in a month, or in the case of the airport, let's build 3 years, 2 years. But yeah, anyway. So the stadium's probably going to be the last big Let's Build I do. I'm going to finish the airport Let's Build, and then no more. I'm just going to stick to relatively short like single episode Let's Build, which I'm sure you guys are would probably be relieved about, knowing that you can start a project without worrying if I'm going to finish it or not. I am going to work on another Let's Build, single episode Let's Build of a water tower skyscraper. I attempted it, but there was a pretty big design flaw right off the bat, so I kind of just scrapped it, but I'm going to try and tackle that again soon. Alright, I'm going to get rid of this that I just built, because I want these to be equal. So 3 blocks wide. I think same with this guy, right? Yep. But let me know how you think about that, if you're going to miss these mega Let's Builds that take sometimes years to complete. If you're going to miss them, if you're going to welcome their discontinuation, if you're going to, I don't know, if you're already mad and not going to watch anymore regardless of how long they are, let me know in the comments below. Now let me figure out how I'm going to do this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna have to do this. One, two, three, 4. Put the 3 block wide window on that side, and then leave this one 4 blocks. Because it's gonna make sense. Because I don't think these are gonna be a little wider as well. Before I tackle these 3 huge openings, I'm going to get this side caught up to speed, which is going to be easy. But I'm not going to abandon anything. I'm not going to abandon the Cyberpunk City. I know. Oh man, I wish. There's one channel who always comments on that. If you're watching this, don't worry. I'm going to put out the Cyberpunk City, I promise. You have a Russian name as your YouTube channel, but every video I make, you're asking why it's not about the Cyberpunk City. I will put out the Cyberpunk City. I did some things to it, but then I realized that I couldn't really do anything with what I did because of the whole update not working with new versions of, or not working with MC Edit. Which sucks, so I'm gonna have to like keep that city on an older version. Is that how we did that? I don't remember. I keep forgetting, like, some of this is a little wonky. I know this one's like that. I think this one's just going to be 1 block wider. There's like some slight errors in this building, but it's like, it's whatever. It's so big it doesn't really matter. That's what she's. Alright. Next this one. Then we're gonna get to that one, which I think is this guy right here. Is it this one? Oh, I see where it went wrong. Well, that one works. Whatever. Alright, anyway. Let's do this one now. So how are we gonna do this? Let's see if this works. Hopefully it does. Nope. So what we can do is see if there's a middle. 1, 2, 3. Maybe it'll work if we don't have these. 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2 now. This takes a lot of concentration. Trying to get these windows spaced out correctly. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. I think this one's just kind of a big old window in the opening, which is fine. Alright. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Over here. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I guess there's only 2. 2 on each side. Alright. And then lastly, this big middle window. Which I know I want these on each side. 2, 3. Well, that works. Cool. All right. So now that that is done and out of the way, we can add the quartz stairs to kind of give these windows some design elements to it, I guess you can say. Oops, forgot to fill that one in. I forget if I put them on the top as well. I did. I'm just gonna go around the perimeter like this. Yeah, my house makes some weird noises. I don't know if you guys can hear the background noise. I'm in a basement right now, so it's hard to record voice when there's like weird water heaters and whatnot doing their thing in the background. So I apologize for weird kind of water noises or hissing in the background. Hopefully my location changes relatively soon. Have like a nice kind of maybe not soundproof, but a little quieter location to work on these videos. Boop, boop. All right. Almost done. Also comment if you're actually working, like if you're actually building your own stadium along to this, because I'm curious to see how many people are following this Let's Build along. I encourage anyone who is following along to post videos of it, of the stadium. It's always interesting to see what people come up with, because I always tell people not to feel the need to follow along perfectly and to take your own creative liberties on building your stadium, especially with the kind of the angled corners of this thing. Instead of going diagonal, I just kind of went square. I would like to see if someone challenged that and went with like a rounded corner instead of these kind of boxy corners, which if I had to go back, I probably wouldn't put. I think I've said that before in this Let's Build. But anyway, yeah, if you're following along, you have the means to make a video, get some gameplay of your stadium. Love to see it. Anyway, next thing I'm going to do, I'm actually going to cut. World Edit's going to make it easier, but I'd rather just cut so you don't have to see me command filling in all of these windows. But basically I'm going to take black stained clay, or not stained clay, black stained glass, and fill in all these windows we've just made. So I will see you when I'm done that. Alright, I'm back, and as you can see, we've come a long way. Anyway, whatever. Let's go back to what we were actually doing, and I'll show you that all the windows are filled in. Boop, boop. Ta-da. Great. Now, what we're going to do is use our handy-dandy wooden axe to fill in all this blank space, which should be pretty easy to do. Actually, no. It actually is going to be a little tricky. Because, oh Jesus Christ, well, I have to look at my cheat sheet. 251/8, what did I put? Set 251-8, there we go. For those of you wondering what I'm doing, I'm putting in the block IDs of the 251:8 is the ID for, well, 251 is for concrete, 8 is the light gray variant of concrete. So 251:8 will get you light gray concrete. So I'm just filling in these areas just to kind of show you. I could cut this if I wanted to. I just want to kind of show you how I do this. I don't think I've ever, I've definitely not cut tedious stuff like this before, but I don't know. It's a novelty to me right now, the whole World Edit system. It's pretty cool and makes what would be pretty crazy work not too crazy. It's great to have basically World Edit built into the game, or MC Edit built into the game. Although, admittedly, the copy paste is something I haven't really gotten used to. You can copy paste with World Edit. A lot of you probably know World Edit more than I do, so this is probably just preaching to the choir, but there is copy paste in World Edit, and for those of you who don't know, and it's a little tricky. I tried it. The X and Y isn't so hard. You have to like orient yourself like in the correct way in order for it to copy paste where you want. It's hard to like kind of tell the mod where you want to paste whatever it is you copied, in my experience. It could just be because I'm bad and need more practice, but even after looking at a tutorial, I still having some trouble copy pasting in the right way. Also, it's dark. Ta-da! Let's make it not dark. But anyway, I had to burp. I apologize. Probably shouldn't drink soda before doing these. One thing that's going to be the death of me is soda. I love soda. It's like the only real kind of junk food that I like. I mean, I have a sweet tooth in general, but I try and limit my candy consumption. Sometimes I can't help myself, but soda, I will jump at the opportunity to drink it. Although recently I've been cutting back, but today was a cheat day, I guess. Had some delicious cherry Coke. Dr. Pepper cherry Coke, vanilla Coke are my go-tos. Anyway, off-topic rambling aside, let's see how far this can get me. So there's still quite a bit of hand building with World Edit, but nothing too crazy. So I think this is as far as I can go. So if I did this, so like this is 0.1, and then 0.2 as this. Set 251, 8. Ta-da. Pretty cool. It's a little tricky not to like kind of cut things off. It will fill anything in that selection, regardless if there's blocks there or not. Because air is just another block. It's a block with an ID of 0. So if you want to clear things, there is a clear function in World Edit, I think, but what I do is I just set 0, which 0 and 1 is stone, I think. Yeah, 1 is the ID for stone, but the ID for air is 0. So if you just do set 0, it'll set air blocks, which basically just clears the space. Tried using the clear command, but it did not work. Let's try it right now. T clear. Oh, never mind. I guess there isn't a command. I thought there was. There could be, and I just don't remember what it is. There's also an undo, which is very helpful if you mess up. Which it is easy to mess up with this because of, like I said, it will copy over anything. So if you copy over something important, you can always undo it. Or if you fill it with the wrong block and don't feel like reselecting everything, you can just do undo, which I've done in the past. This like stepped design is a little tricky with World Edit because, you know, I could break it down into big squares that I can fill, but I'll always end up having to hand fill in these like kind of edges. And also these stairwells make it a little tricky. that filled in, and then there's like one more big spot, which is this one right here. I'll like go halfway to like here. Oops. Set 251.8. Set 251.8. Fill in this. You could fill in this by hand too. Sometimes it's just quicker than typing out the command, to be completely honest. It's like a CGI. You can't only use CGI. You have to put in some practical stuff as well. You can't always just use world edit. You gotta do some hand building stuff as well. So yeah, you gotta find the balance between world edit and just hand building. All right. Unless you're just building something very simple, I guess. There's that mansion from that one building time lapse I did. People were wondering what that huge thing looming in the background was. It's actually the stadium. I put them on the same world because it's just flat and easy to build on. And there's like 20 blocks of stone that you can build like an underground subterranean level to your builds here. Anyway, and remember when that other building used to be here? I got rid of that, I think. I just deleted it. That I moved it like ridiculously far out of the way. Okay, so we did that. Now what I'm going to do is cut. And while I'm cut, I'm going to do the same thing we covered in this episode, just on the other side of the stadium, just like we did with the short end of the field. So when I cut back, this is going to be over on the other side, the opposite side as well. So I will see you when I'm done duplicating this whole process on the other side. All right, I'm back, and as you can see, we're on the same side we were, but if I scurry on over to the opposite side, the opposite long end of the stadium, let's see what it looks like. It should look like the other long end of the field, if everything worked correctly. Let's see. Yep, so we got the windows on the opposite side as well as the side that we just spent the whole episode working on. And that's going to be it for this episode. The next episode, we're going to do some more of the same. We are going to kind of build down. We're just kind of building from the top down. And next comes the second story. The second two stories. We're going to build two stories next time. Since there's two stories here, we'll just build to here and then to there. And then the last kind of stories will kind of be like the big kind of base. It's going to be square, I think. It's going to look different from this kind of wrap, or not wrap, this like kind of curved look we've been going with. It's going to kind of square off and just be a regular kind of rectangle. So look forward to that. This has been Colonial Puppet. And as always, be sure to check out the next episode when it comes out, and the previous episodes if you would like to follow along. And as always, have a nice day.